Okay. Well, yeah, Bri, what we'll do is we're going to move to our next topic.
All right.
We're going to talk about Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb. This has been a topic that's been real big on the internet over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
All right, so let me give you a little bit of background, Bri, on how I came across these two gentlemen.
Okay.
All right, so Anton Daniels, I've been looking at some of his YouTube content for a while now.
Okay.
I've actually, myself, I say this, I've invested into one of his programs just to see what it was about. That's just me. I've invested in a lot of programs over the years, by the way. At times, I just want to see what's being taught, you know, what is coming out of that particular program. So at times, I just do that. That's just me. And I can tell you, he had some great stuff in his program.
Yeah.
He had some great stuff in there. You know, like I said, I've been through a lot of programs. So I would say he had some educational stuff in there. Now, what I will say about Anton Daniels, like I said, I've looked at a lot of his YouTube content too over some time now. I agree with around about 90% of stuff that he speaks on in his YouTube content. And by the way, if you don't know what Anton Daniels is, he is a big YouTuber on YouTube. As well, he's an entrepreneur too. He does business outside of YouTube. He's an investor and things of that nature too. So I will speak on that with him as well. But like I say, I agree with around about 90% of his talking points.
90? Why 90 though?
That 10% comes from sometimes, and I'm not a big Democrat, I'm not a big Republican myself. I consider myself more independent. But at the same time though, sometimes I feel like his conservative talking points sometimes could kind of undermine the black community a little bit, in my opinion.
It's fair.
Right. And Anton, if you watch this, or anybody on your team watches this, like you just heard from me, I invested into one of your programs, the Band Chasers, that's what you call it, right? I invested in it. So I'm not no hater or anything on here, I'm just giving my honest opinion as a content creator myself. One thing I will say is with Anton and some of his content, here's the thing. He at times speaks on different things in regards to the black community, and Anton is from Detroit, which is a real big black American place. Yeah. Right?
Working
so a lot of black Americans stay in Detroit. I mean, that's the home of Motown.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, at the end of the day, he comes from that. And I see he came from humble beginnings and everything. I've seen he's posted the house he grew up in Detroit and everything. So he comes from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
But I think at times he has become very successful over the years financially. And I think at times when you get to that level, sometimes you might can find yourself, let's see how I should put this. Feeling like you've kind of totally grown outside of the community you came up in, right? There's nothing wrong with growth.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm completely nowhere, nothing like you people, right?
Yeah.
That kind of mentality.
When them people your cousin.
Right.
Hey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have heard Anton, and like I say, if Anton, you watch this, my man, nothing personal against you. I'm just speaking on my opinion. I've heard you say in your content that you believe black Americans don't deserve reparations. I don't agree on that talking point. At times I've heard you say in some of your content that a lot of these immigrants come over here and they outwork us black Americans. We don't really have the work ethic. A lot of times these immigrants, in terms of black Americans, so they come over here and they're way more successful than us because we don't work hard enough. I have heard that. And if we can pull up content of Anton Daniels speaking this, we can pull the receipts. So I'm not just talking on something. You said this out your own mouth. I don't agree on that. You know, kind of us acting like police brutality doesn't exist. I don't agree on that. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't agree on that. Like I say, now Anton, on the positive side, you give a lot of great information in regards to people becoming a better version of themselves. You give a lot of great business advice, a lot of advice in terms of being great content creators. You've given a lot of great advice on that. I've even gotten some insights from you on that. But when it comes to the black community at times, I feel like you're very, very harsh on the black community, in my opinion, when it comes to what I just spoke on. You know, talking about black women, you know, we create the most black single mothers, the most single mothers, those type things. And yes, we do have a lot of single mothers in the black community. Yes, we do, right? But what Corey Holcomb was saying, now we'll go to Corey Holcomb.
Okay.
He was saying, you're constantly coming down on the black community in regards to the things I just spoke on, but Corey was like, he never heard Anton speak on the white community, the Caucasians, in the same fashion. Right?
Yeah.
He never heard Anton ever speak on those type of things. And Corey was speaking like, what do you have to say about, and we just don't say this, you know, and all races are welcome to this channel, by the way. So I'm not here knocking any race. We're just talking facts, okay? A lot of Caucasians, and I'm not saying any Caucasian that's tuned into this, I'm not saying you did this. I'm not even saying your ancestors did this. I'm just saying it is Caucasians that came over and stole land and enslaved blacks. And blacks had to do free labor for many years. That made a lot of them wealthy. That's why we have a wealth gap to this day. If that makes sense.
Of course.
Corey Holcomb says, Anton, I never hear you speak on that. That's what his argument was. I never hear you talk about that though. You just constantly coming down on the black community, but you never talk about that. So Corey Holcomb said, Anton, it seems like you're kissing the white man's ass because I never heard you talk down on the Caucasian male. The Anton Daniels clapped back and say, I believe that you suck the black people's thing. Right? Corey hears this. He's on a 5150 show, by the way. That's Corey Holcomb's show. He has a big following. He's a big comedian, if you all don't know. By the way, Corey Holcomb, big comedian, big following. Matter of fact, he has a bigger following than Anton Daniels. And Anton Daniels has a big following. He has 1 million subscribers on YouTube. But Corey Holcomb has even a bigger following. Corey Holcomb gets out of his seat, walks over to him.
On the show.
On the show. And say I suck one more time. Right? He was in his face like, I'm a man.
Yeah.
You talking against my manhood. Say it one more time. So they finna get the squabbling on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anton Daniels, I'm gonna say this. He didn't say it again to Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb kept down. He said, say it one more time.
Yeah.
Anton like, no, let's take it out back. Let's go outside.
Yeah.
Hello, this is G Bass. Rise of the 1%. Rise Media. We on this Saturday evening about to get ready to knock out some podcast episodes with some individuals here in the city of Atlanta making some big moves. You can see here, look, this is how it goes down. Here when our guests come and sit down with myself, G Bass, other Rise of 1% of Rise Media, to have that conversation, to share the story, share the journey, share what you got going on. So listen, everybody got a story, everybody got a journey, and then you got some things going on, then you definitely can get with us and see if it'll be a fit to be on the Rise of 1% podcast and actually have that discussion with myself. It's going to be a link to a form for you to fill out. You said www.theriseof1%.com/pod-form. Again, www.theriseof1%.com/pod-form. It's going to be in this video. You can fill that out. And we can see if it'll be a fit for you to come on and have that conversation with myself. If you don't fill out the form, then obviously it's not for you, and that's fine. We're looking for those that's serious. Those that's serious about rising to the top 1% are already in the 1%. That's what we're looking to sit down with myself right here. As you can see, Rise Media, Rise of the 1%. This is how we get down. We have a great time and have a lot of fun doing it. So once again, if you're serious, make sure you fill out the form. We'll look over the form, see if it's a fit. If it's a fit, we'll reach out. If not, we won't reach out. We'll just continue to move forward. But with that said, this is G Bass. See you soon. Have a great one on purpose.